They call me a genius, a visionary, a maverick. But what they often forget are the nights I stared at the ceiling, wondering if everything I'd built would crumble to dust by morning. They forget the times I was just weeks, days, even hours away from complete and utter failure. My name is Elon Musk, and this isn't a story about overnight success. This is a story about survival, about refusing to let go when the world tells you to. It all started in Pretoria, South Africa, back in 1971. I wasn't the charismatic leader you see today. I was a quiet, awkward kid, often lost in books and daydreams. I found more comfort in the logic of computer code than in the complexities of playground politics. While other kids were outside playing, I was inside, teaching myself to program. At just 12 years old, I created my first video game, a space shooter called Blastar. It was a simple game, but it ignited something profound within me. It wasn't just about coding. It was about creation. That little spark became the guiding principle for my entire life. If you want something that does exist, don't wait for someone else to make it. Build it yourself. That principle drove me across the world. I landed in America with little more than a backpack and a head full of ideas. The biggest idea of all was the internet. I saw it not just as a network of computers, but as the future nervous system of human civilization. I knew it was going to change everything. My brother and I started a company called Zip2, a sort of online city guide for newspapers. It was a grind. We lived in the office, showered at the local YMCA, and ate at the cheapest places we could find. But we believed in the vision. We eventually sold Zip2, and I walked away with my first taste of real success. But I wasn't done. The internet's potential was still largely untapped. I saw a huge problem with online payments. They were clunky, slow, and insecure. So I co-founded XCOM, which later merged with another company to become PayPal. Our goal was simple but revolutionary: to make sending money online as easy as sending an email. The established banking world thought we were crazy. They fought us at every turn. But we persisted, and PayPal became a phenomenon. When eBay acquired it, I found myself at just 30 years old with more money than I could have ever imagined. I could have bought an island, retired, and sipped cocktails for the rest of my life. The thought bored me to tears. Comfort wasn't what I was after. I craved the challenge, the chaos, the monumental task of solving humanity's biggest problems. I looked at the world and saw two major threats to our future: our over-reliance on fossil fuels, which was destroying our planet, and the fact that humanity was confined to a single planet, vulnerable to any number of existential risks. So, I decided to do something about it. I took all the money I made from PayPal, every single dollar, and I bet it all on two seemingly impossible ventures: electric cars and private space exploration. I founded SpaceX and invested heavily to become the CEO of Tesla. Everyone, and I mean everyone, told me I was insane. My friends, my financial advisors, industry experts, they all said it was a surefire way to lose everything. They were almost right. The year 2008 was the darkest period of my life. Both SpaceX and Tesla were bleeding cash. We'd had 3 consecutive rocket launch failures with SpaceX. The first Tesla Roadster was plagued with production problems and delays. The global financial crisis hit, and funding completely dried up. Both companies were literally weeks away from bankruptcy. I had one last bit of money left, about $40 million. I faced an impossible choice: save one company and let the other die, or split the money and risk losing them both. I split it. I put my last $20 million into Tesla and my last $20 million into SpaceX. It was the most terrifying decision I have ever made. I was out of money. I was borrowing from friends just to pay my living expenses. The media was having a field day, writing headlines that mocked me, calling me a failed dot-com millionaire playing with expensive toys. The pressure was immense. But in those moments, you have to ask yourself, Why did you start this in the first place? For me, it was never about the money. It was about the mission. I believed that a sustainable energy future and a multiplanetary existence were critical for the long-term survival of our species. So, I kept going. We worked around the clock, fueled by caffeine and an unwavering belief that we could turn things around. And then, slowly, things began to change. SpaceX successfully launched its fourth Falcon 1 rocket, finally reaching orbit. It was a make-or-break moment that secured a crucial contract from NASA. At Tesla, we began to solve the production issues and started delivering the Roadster. The tide was turning, but it wasn't a straight line to success. There were more exploding rockets, more production nightmares with the Model S, more moments where it felt like we were teetering on the edge of a cliff. But failure is a part of the process. In fact, it's a necessary part. If you're not failing, you're not innovating enough. Each explosion taught us something new about building a better rocket. Each production flaw taught us how to build a better car. Progress isn't made by the people who stop when things get difficult. It's built by those who see a setback not as a wall, but as a stepping stone. Today, people look at Tesla and see a company that completely reshaped the global auto industry, forcing every major manufacturer to embrace an electric future. They look at SpaceX and see a company that has made space travel affordable and is sending astronauts to the International Space Station, all while developing a rocket capable of taking us to Mars. And it doesn't stop there. With companies like Neuralink, we're exploring the interface between the human brain and computers. With The Boring Company, we're trying to solve urban traffic. With Starlink, we're beaming internet down from space to connect the entire globe. But when you strip it all away, my story isn't really about electric cars or reusable rockets. It's about a fundamental belief in the power of human ingenuity. It's about having a refusal to quit when every rational fiber of your being and every person around you is telling you to stop. It's about understanding that the path to creating a better future is paved with hardship and doubt. So don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big or too crazy. The future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we build, one impossible dream at a time. I'm Elon Musk, and I didn't wait for the future. I built it. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, keep building.